Every Soviet tank fielded from 1947 to 1991. Light tanks. PT-76. A light amphibious tank used for reconnaissance. It carried a 76mm gun with thin welded armor. It supported river assaults and infantry crossings. Its armor protection was minimal. PT-85. A Cold War amphibious light tank concept fielded through Soviet export channels. It mounted an 85mm gun and a stabilized turret. It served as a mobile river crossing scout platform. Its protection and accuracy were limited compared to MBTs. ASU-57. A lightweight airborne gun tank substitute. Armed with a 57mm gun on a small open chassis. Used by airborne troops for anti-armor support. It lacked armor and survivability. ASU-85. A larger airborne gun tank with improved firepower, equipped with an 85mm gun and low profile, used to reinforce airborne infantry with direct fire. Mobility was good, but armor was very thin. Medium tanks. T-44M. A modernization of the late World War II T-44. It retained a 100mm gun and upgraded automotive systems. Used for training and reserve roles in the early Cold War, its design quickly became outdated. T-54. The first mass-produced Soviet medium tank of the Cold War. It used a 100mm D-10T gun and sloped armor. Formed the backbone of Soviet armored forces. Early fire control systems were basic. T-55A. An improved T-55 variant. Added vertical gun stabilization and NBC protection. Increased accuracy while moving, still limited by early stabilizer technology. T-55B. A further refinement of the T-55 series. Included two-plane stabilization and night fighting gear. Allowed more effective fire on the move. Still carried legacy hull architecture. T-55. A major upgrade of the T-54 line. Featured a 100mm gun, improved engine, and stronger armor array. Became one of the most widely deployed tanks in history. Lacked a true modern fire control system early on. T-55A. An NBC-protected T-55 variant. Improved internal systems and safety equipment. Served widely across Soviet and Allied units. Armor remained modest by later standards. T-55AM. A late Cold War enhancement package. Added applique armor and upgraded sights. Designed to improve survivability against modern threats. Still relied on the original 100mm gun platform. T-55MVA. A T-55AM with explosive reactive armor. Featured Contact 1 bricks and upgraded targeting. Used to extend the relevance of aging T-55 fleets. Mobility was unchanged from original models. T-62. A new generation medium tank with a smoothbore gun. It carried the 115mm U-5TS cannon, designed to counter Western armor improvements. Rate of fire was slower due to manual loading and cramped layout. T-62M. A modernized T-62 variant. Received applique armor, laser rangefinders, and improved fire control. Kept the 115mm gun in serviceable condition. Weight increases reduced mobility slightly. T-62MV. A T-62M with ERA. It carried Contact 1 blocks over the hull and turret. Enhanced protection against shaped charge threats. Base armor still limited compared to MBTs. Main battle tanks. T-64. A revolutionary Soviet main battle tank. Used composite armor and an autoloader for a 125mm gun. Entered service as a high-end frontline unit. Complex maintenance limited mass deployment. T-64A. An improved T-64 variant featured upgraded optics and armor arrays, served as a premium Cold War MBT. Its turbine-like engine system required skilled servicing. T-64B, a later evolution of the T-64 line, added advanced fire control systems and guided missile capability, served as a high-tier Cold War frontline tank. Electronics increased maintenance demands. T-64BV, a T-64B upgraded with ERA, carried Contact 1 armor across turret and hull, used to improve survivability against shaped charge weapons. Base hull design remained complex to service. T-72 Ural, the first production model of the T-72 family, equipped with a 125mm auto-loaded gun and cast turret, designed for mass production and frontline deployment. Fire control systems were simpler than the T-64's. T-72A, a more advanced T-72 variant, added composite turret armor and improved optics, served widely as a standard Soviet MBT. Its night fighting capability remained limited early on. T-72M, an export and licensed production T-72 variant, reduced armor levels compared to Soviet domestic versions, provided standard MBT capability to Warsaw Pact states. Its simplified systems lowered performance. T-72B, a major improvement in the T-72 line, added advanced armor arrays and missile firing capability, became a key late Cold War Soviet MBT. Increased weight affected agility. T-72B1, a simplified T-72B version, retained advanced armor but lacked missile launch capability, maintained strong protection for its class. Missile omission reduced long-range flexibility. T-80, the first mass-produced gas turbine MBT, carried a 125mm gun with an autoloader system, known for rapid acceleration and high mobility. Fuel consumption was high. T-80B, an upgraded T-80 variant, improved armor, fire control, and missile capability, served as a top-tier Soviet MBT. Operational costs remained significant. T-80BV, a T-80B fitted with ERA, used Contact 1 blocks on hull and turret, enhanced survivability against modern threats, still retained the turbine engine's high fuel use. T-80U, a late high-performance T-80 variant, added Contact 5 ERA and advanced optics, served as one of the most capable Soviet tanks of the era. Its complexity limited wider deployment. Heavy tanks. IS-3M, a Cold War modernization of the IS-3 heavy tank, featured improved engine, suspension, and internal changes, used in reserve and training roles. Its design dated back to immediate post-war doctrine. IS-4M, an upgraded IS-4 heavy tank, received modernized equipment and internal improvements, used in static defense rules during the Cold War. Very heavy weight limited mobility. T-10, the last Soviet heavy tank of the era, armed with a 122mm gun and thick armor, served in breakthrough and defensive roles. Large size reduced strategic mobility. T-10A, an improved T-10 variant, added a single-plane stabilizer and updated optics, provided better fire effectiveness than the base model. It still retained slow turret traverse. T-10B, a more refined T-10 upgrade, introduced a two-plane stabilizer, increased accuracy while moving. Vehicle weight remained extreme. T-10M, the final and most advanced T-10 version,
featured a new 122mm gun and advanced night sights. Used in limited frontline deployment. Heavy tank doctrine soon became obsolete.
Special variants. T-55 Enigma-Style Testbeds. Soviet experimental armor packages applied to T-55 hulls. Featured layered composite-style blocks for protection trials. Used to study improved survivability for older tanks. Never standardized for mass Soviet service. T-62D Drozd APS variant. A T-62 fitted with the Drozd active protection system. Carried radar-linked interceptors to counter incoming missiles. Trialed to improve battlefield survivability. System complexity limited widespread adoption. T-80UM. An experimental upgrade of the T-80 series. Tested advanced thermal imagers and improved fire control. Used to evaluate next-generation MBT capabilities. Production remained extremely limited. Captured Centurion, Israeli. A Western MBT evaluated by the USSR after Middle East conflicts. Mounted a 105mm gun with strong turret armor. Used for ballistic testing and doctrine analysis. Not used operationally by Soviet forces. Captured M48 Patton. A US-built medium tank obtained through post-war transfers. Equipped with a 90mm gun and cast armor. Used for comparative studies against Soviet designs. Armor layout helped inform Soviet ammunition trials. Captured Chieftain, Iran to USSR. A late Cold War British MBT acquired via Iran. Carried a 120mm rifled gun and advanced armor arrays. Used to evaluate Western fire control systems. Provided insight into NATO heavy tank philosophy. Prototypes. Experimental. Ob'yekt 140. A prototype medium tank design. Featured an early cast turret and improved suspension. Explored alternatives to T-54, T-55 development paths. Mechanical issues halted further progress. Ob'yekt 165. A prototype leading toward the T-62 line. Tested a 100mm high-velocity gun and updated components. Used to refine medium tank architecture. Superseded by later designs. Ob'yekt 167. A mobility-focused experimental design. Featured a new engine and updated running gear. Evaluated as a possible T-62 replacement. Never entered production. Ob'yekt 219A. Early development step toward the T-80. Tested gas turbine propulsion and new armor concepts. Used to validate high-mobility MBT requirements. Fuel demands were high. Ob'yekt 219AM. An improved form of the 219 line. Added refined armor packages and upgraded systems. Served as a key testbed for T-80 evolution. Remained experimental. Ob'yekt 279. A unique multi-track heavy tank prototype. Featured an elliptical hull for extreme blast resistance. Designed to survive nuclear-era battlefield conditions. Design was too unconventional for adoption. Ob'yekt 770. A heavy tank prototype with advanced features. Mounted a 130mm gun and powerful engine. Sought to replace earlier heavy tank lines. High cost and doctrinal shifts ended development. Ob'yekt 777. A compact heavy tank concept. Used a low-profile layout and improved armor schemes. Explored lightweight heavy tank possibilities. Not pursued beyond prototypes. Ob'yekt 875. A late experimental tank project.
tested a high-velocity main gun and advanced systems. Represented late Cold War heavy tank thinking. Never reached production. For more Cold War catalog documentaries, consider subscribing.